Alright, well, see if this audio works out or not. I'm a little far away today and we're outside, but we're doing something a little bit different today, more cosmetic, a little interesting. We're not necessarily fixing anything, but we are tearing into something today. So on today's video, we're going to be talking about seats, specifically front seats for these Jeep Cherokee XJs. This really pertains to 84 through 94. Once you get into 95 and 96, I know those seat brackets are different, and then 97 and up I know are significantly different. This stuff may apply to those as well. But basically, what I'm doing, the whole point of this video is I'm swapping two-door seats into a four-door Cherokee, and then we're gonna match the interior. So I'm gonna pull the skins off so that the skins that I have that are in better shape match the rest of the interior for this four-door Cherokee that I've been messing with for a while. So that's the gist of it, and let's take a look at some of these Jeeps and why I'm doing it. So first thing is first, we've got two different Cherokees here. One's a two-door, one's a four-door. Now, if you look at the two doors, they're, oh, well, this one's locked, but you can see the two-door seats. They've got this extra button on the side, and I've already put the two-door seats into this four-door Cherokee, and I know the door's open, so I can show you on this one. But basically, the trim color, it's this burgundy red. It's very maroon. These two-door seats, they came out of a 1985, so the red doesn't quite match. The floor mats and the seats are from an 85. Everything else is a darker burgundy color, and I don't really like that it doesn't match. That's not the end of the world. I could get past that, but seeing that these are 85 seats, my Jeep's a 91, these are just in worse condition. The passenger side is significantly ripped and torn up. Well, I actually swapped the passenger and the driver butt part. That was the driver's side. I swapped them because it was torn up, and I made another video on how to do that. But these ones, they still are torn up a little bit on the upper side, and they're not in great condition, and the color doesn't match exactly. So I'm going to swap the skins from the seats that were in here onto these two-door brackets. And the reason that I do that is because of this button right here. For the two doors, it allows the entire seat to fold completely flat. If the steering wheel wasn't in the way, you'd get even more articulation out of it. But it basically allows you to get back into the back seat of the Jeep if there is not, a second door. If it is a two-door, you're not going to have a second door to access the back. You need these seats to fold all the way down. Now, the reason why I do that, even in these four doors, this one will go all the way down, and that's why I do it. I like camping, overlanding, sleeping in these Cherokees, and if you ever tried to do it, the back seat is not really big enough. With everything removed, you get those seats, the butt comes out, the bottom folds down, and then you're really stuck right at about there, and that's not enough room. That's maybe, I don't know, 5 foot 6 inches or something. It's not enough for me to sleep in there comfortably. If I fold these down, then you've basically got the entire length of the back and all the way into the front if your feet lay up on this. So that's the reason I swapped these two-door seats into everything that I've got. I like them a lot better for sleeping in the back of the vehicle. So let's get into it, and I'll show you the other seats and then what we're doing to actually swap it. Actually, real quick, I should just mention, if your seats are in good condition or you don't care that the colors don't match, let's say you found a two-door Cherokee that had a tan interior or gray interior, and you've got red in your Jeep, or you grab red two-door seats and you got gray in yours. If you don't care that the interior doesn't match, you just want the functionality, great, stick with that. You don't have to worry about it. Just swap the seats in. All the bolts at the bottom will swap right in. And then if you don't care if stuff's torn up, that's fine. Let's say you get great seats mechanically, but all of the fabric is torn up like my passenger seat. Then this video would apply, swapping the fabric over. So this one's probably going to be mouth breathing in the background of the video. Just know it's not me, it's her. These are the seats. The lighting's making them look a little bit maybe stained on one side, but they're in pretty darn good condition. No rips, no tears. The vinyl is still very pliable and the fabric looks good. I've been running them for, I don't know, a year. Now, one thing that I did not account for is that these are actually power seats. And I mean, I knew this was here, I knew they were power. I did not really think about this part over here, it being bolted to it. I suppose, you know, I'm assuming that these seats are gonna be the same as everything else. The butt, it's held on by 4 13mm bolts. One is, you can see it right in there, right there, and there's another one here, and then there's 2 on the back side, and then the whole butt really just pulls right off. There sometimes can be a little C-clip on the back side holding the fabric on, but it just slides right out. Now I'm assuming these are the same. I suppose the seats that I'm putting them on, they're not automatic. So I guess you could, in theory, just cut this wire and maybe leave this bolted to it. I'm gonna take this all off and see how the controls are set on this, and hopefully it doesn't make too much of a difference. I'm hoping that they're not, you know, I can already see a little bit of a tear in the vinyl down there. I'm hoping that they're not totally torn up, and I'm hoping there's not huge holes. Otherwise, I will have to consider other options or try to repair that. We'll just see what it looks like. But my plan was just to pull the entire butt off. I'm not gonna take the skin off the butt pad because this will bolt onto my other 2-door seats. And then I did need to remove the fabric or the skin from this particular seat. Now this should all just fit right on my other seat, the 2-door bucket, and then I would just bolt the butt to it and not have to worry about swapping that. So the first 2 things I'm gonna do is take off this electrical deal and then remove the actual butt. You really most likely will not have to do the electrical part because that's not too common. You'll just be removing all 4 13mm. So we kind of lucked out here. Some of you guys may already know what was underneath here, but I had never taken this off. It's just a switch, and it's really just mounted under the plastic and externally bolted to this. Now it did rip holes in where the screw went through in those 3 areas, and a corner pinched a little hole over there, but it's all in good shape, and I'm just gonna do my nifty seat cushion swap. So basically this was the driver's side seat. This butt part is gonna get swapped to the passenger side, and the passenger side butt cushion is gonna get swapped onto the driver's side. Effectively, that just reverses everything, so this no longer would be the outside edge. If you've got a sagging seat, it takes care of that problem. This is now gonna be the inside on your passenger seat. And, oh, actually, everything that I just said, switch it around. It's the same concept, but this is your passenger side. So this will now be my driver's side, and when I stick this on the driver's side bucket, the door will open over here, and this side will be basically in between the center console, and you won't be able to see any of this or ever touch it, so it shouldn't have any risk of ripping further. So we're good to go on that front. This is what the bolts on the back side look like. I already removed one. Here's the other. This is just a plastic cover on the automatic. It's automatic seats, it's usually not there. So get these bolts out, and then don't lose them. They're all the same thread, they're not hole specific. Tuck some stuff out of your way. Here is the C-clip. You just need to separate this, and on this particular model, this back flap is being held down by some rubber deals here. I don't know if that's been on other ones or not. Here's the C-clip that you're just gonna separate. Now our butt cushion has been removed and it comes off. It's in good shape. So now there was, I've got it flipped over so I could take out this wire. There's a wire that runs right through here, right back here, and then you can see it on either side up here and up here. You just need to get a flathead screwdriver, pull it down. You pop it down out of this little track, and then you can pull it out either side. And keep track of these. I use a cardboard template over here. So that is the first metal retaining clip that comes out. Now I'm gonna flip this seat over and we will get that center flap off on the front side, and then we'll work on the side bolsters or love handles, whatever you want to call them. Okay, now onto the front side. I apologize, I do not have a tripod with me out here. So that rod I was showing you, it goes right through here. and then into this groove and comes out these holes. That's what holds this fabric piece positioned down in here so it can't flap up. Now this entire section is basically free. You should be able to, just be careful with it, but you should be able to pull the entire thing up. Just like that. So there's the noise in the background. Oh man, she's really going. But that's how you're gonna get that section up. And then we need to get off these love handles or these side flaps, and they are held on by, see, it's these plastic clips in here. I believe it's these white retaining clips are attached to this thing that looks like a cardboard wrapped retaining wire. So I'll get picking at those and see if I can detach them all and then go about moving this fabric off of that before we separate the foam and the skin. Okay, we're moving along here. You will need to remove the little grab lever to adjust the seat back. You basically just pry it right up. You can get a screwdriver in there to help you pop it off. There is a little tab on here, but I couldn't really tell what it did, to be honest. I just pulled it straight up and it came off. And then you're just gonna slide your hand up underneath the cover and then just use that as leverage to work the fabric over the corner. Watch this little split in the foam back here, because this, I feel like it could get caught here and not come off the backside and then rip. But do that to both sides, and then we'll work on getting, there's like a foam insert. It's this guy that goes through this pouch, and you can see it up here. You've basically got to fold this thing down and push it, work it through this insert. Work the insert through this little pouch, and I'll show you what that looks like after I do it. All right, now be careful. I just shoved this in there. There is Velcro on this top little thing here. I'm using that so it doesn't re-stick, but you want to be really careful with this Velcro, especially if your seats are old or in rough condition, seem pretty sun battered. Try to just work your hand in there or like a pry bar to separate the Velcro from the foam. Don't just pull it apart. It'll end up ripping the Velcro off of your foam, because this, you know, it's pretty old and probably would come apart fairly easily, so be careful. If you're doing the butts, if you're actually pulling the fabric off the butts as well, there's a lot of Velcro inside of those. I believe it's right on this top side that you'll want to work with, but same concept there. All right, I folded my center flap out. You can see this guy's hanging out there. Now the Velcro does continue up the top. So for me, since I am taking this, I want this fabric more than I actually care about this foam stuff. I'm trying to be really careful when I pry this apart to make sure that I keep this this pad or this fabric piece intact. I'm less concerned about messing up the Velcro because I really don't plan on reusing these seats. Even though they work great and they're in great shape, I want to keep them all intact because I may reskin them with some other fabric from a different junkyard for maybe a different project that I want power seats in. But in this case, we're going to keep removing the Velcro, separating it here, and then I got to get the headrest off, and it should come off from there, I believe. I almost forgot, there are these headrest things. You remove the headrest, but these guys have to come out, and you just lift up the flap from the fabric. Well, that can really come off now. And you'll see they are shoved all the way from the top, and they come down through these holes, and then they've got these squeeze tabs on them right here. You just have to push these squeeze tabs in and then push the whole thing up, and it shoots out through the top, and that's the last limiting factor that's holding your fabric on. Now I did label these. The flat side has to go towards the back, and I labeled them right and left if you're looking at them from the back. Silver Sharpie would have been better, but I only had black. So let me take the seat cover off and then I'll finish. Alright, so now your fabric is completely off. You can see the headrest here. There's the back. This is the upper part. This would be a great time to clean it. I've heard of people throwing this in the washing machine. Don't dry it because it will shrink the fabric and I think cause some fitment issues if you shrink it too much. The foam kind of smells a little bit like old seats. Whatever you can do to clean this stuff, I would clean it now while you can, while you have the opportunity. But in any case, the reassembly is just the reverse. Now looking at this a little bit deeper, I think I would be able to remove this seat foam. Like if you wanted to completely reupholster one of your seats, I don't know that I'd recommend it. You know, at that point, if you've got a totally good donor seat, just put the donor seat in with 4 bolts and not the whole thing in there. I don't know why you'd keep your existing bracket just to pull all this foam off, but if I end up tearing up my foam off the 2-door seats, I guess in my case I really want the 2-door seats because they fold flat. If I tear that up, on the back side here, there's little Phillips head screws that look like they're one of the only things holding this foam love handle on. The rest of it, yeah, I don't know. It kind of just feels like it would, yeah, the whole thing will lift right off actually. So if my 2-door seats are all messed up for whatever reason, or if I tear up the foam because they're from 85, if that doesn't work so well, then I will just pull this foam off and end up using this foam on those brackets. So that's kind of neat. Clean your stuff now and then reassemble it. And I think that's going to cover everything for this video, since I'm not taking my bottom cushion skin fabric, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to take that off because it's very easily transferred from seat to seat, so I don't need to do it in my case because I don't care about cleaning them through the washing machine or anything like that. So I think I'll wrap it up. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I did follow a link online. It's a Cherokee forum. That's the link. I don't think I'm going to put the link in the description because I don't know if there's copyright issues or anything like that. But if you just search how to remove the seat fabric from a Jeep Cherokee, you'll be able to find that right up pretty easily. So thanks for watching. Hope you learned something.